Lagging for the break, Skyler Woodward and Manny Perez. Two of the best young players in the country. Manny's only 18 years old, and he won the U.S. Open 8-ball tournament.
All right, I got a prediction. You gonna?
What's your prediction?
7-5, Skyler.
Hey, wait a second. Who did you call the last match? You called Vilma 7-5, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the final score?
7-5.
Was it? No, it wasn't. It was like 7-4 or 7-3. Was it 7? Bobby, I got to watch you, man. You're kind of cagey. You say Skyler 7-5?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even though Manny Perez won that 8-ball tournament last month on the 7-foot table, you got to make Skyler the favorite. He's really grown up a lot in the last couple of years. Skyler's only like 22 years old. This is a real important tournament for Skyler because he needs to get points to get back on the Mosconi Cup team. I'm not sure where the rankings are today, but I know he's not in the top 3. It's like Shane, Rodney, and Oscar. Meanwhile, where is Rodney? You would think Rodney would be playing in this tournament. I mean, he's in the running for the Mosconi Cup. How could you miss a points event? Unless he went to that World 8-ball, which would surprise me because he hasn't been traveling that much out of the country. You never know. He might have got a stake horse.
A pretty nice shot he just made, actually.
This guy's really become a seasoned player. He's got that speed down. You got to have good cue ball speed on these small tables because you can get out of line so quick. Neither one of these guys wastes a lot of time. Skyler's started going to the Philippines last year, and he loves it. He's been over there like 3 times in less than a year.
Got him a couple honeys over there, probably.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look at him. He's a good-looking young guy. Grew a beard, so he looks more mature. Well, the Filipinos, they like older men. Did you know that, Bob?
I know. That's why I'm dying to go.
Well, what's keeping you? We've been talking about this for 10 years.
I know. I'm just slow playing.
You keep stalling me, man.
Got my little kitty I can't leave. That's just
well, you can have somebody pet watcher.
I don't have anybody I trust. It's such a goofy story. It's just crazy.
You know, that's why I never had a dog. I love dogs, but I travel too much.
Yeah.
I travel too much. There are places you could board your kitty, couldn't you?
I did that once for 3 days, and he about died. He wouldn't eat. He wouldn't do nothing.
Oh, my God. How old is your cat?
13, but he acts about 2, and he's just like the greatest little animal you've ever seen in your life. He's so in tune with me, you wouldn't even believe how
great.
Crazy it is.
What kind of cat is it?
He was the meanest black feral cat you've ever seen in your life.
Wow.
And he's like just unbelievable, you know. And people just don't realize it's hard to believe how cool he is and how much I mean to him. It's really weird.
Well, you're his family. You're his family. I believe it. Man, he come up empty on that break. Skyler's got no shot here, but I think he's going to leave Manny nothing in a moment.
Can't tell from here. Can't tell from here what he's doing and how he's going to duck. That's like the only. There's no good way to.
Well, he tried to put him behind the 8, but cue ball snuck out where Manny can see the edge of the ball. Skyler's playing with a lot of confidence.
Well.
He got him.
Boy, he barely got him, too.
It's good enough. Going to spin out with a lot of right English around this 5 ball.
I don't think he hit it going on the backside of the 5.
You'd almost have to shoot a little massé, too.
I don't think he can hit it like that.
This is a hard ball to hit either way. Because the 7's got him a little bit messed up there.
I don't like this either.
He's going to end up, I think he's going to end up going around the 5 ball, but it's
No, he's got to go this way.
I'll tell you what, this is a real small ball he's shooting at here.
I don't like this.
He doesn't like it much either, but he doesn't have much choice.
I believe I would just try to go one rail and kick it.
Kicking 2 rails here is...
This is like...
You're a big underdog.
1 out of 10. I don't like this at all.
Well,
no, this is...
I agree with you.
This is no good at all.
Well, he made a good hit.
I'm telling you,
congratulations.
No kidding. That was a real tough shot.
Look, we're on candid camera.
On camera.
George's candid camera.
My brother.
George of the jungle. He's a real pool fan. He's a pool fanatic, George. Look at this. He's got 2 cameras.
He got one for both.
Well, I think he's the official photographer for this event because he's going around taking pictures of all these players. Yeah.
Look at this. Look where he's at.
Yeah, he hit this one. Manny Perez is going to keep him tied up in knots.
He's got to go in 3 rails at it.
Well, these last 2 matches are an indication of the depth of the field. I mean, first-round matches, that last match with Tarango and Foldis was 2 strong players, and this match with Perez and Woodward. That young lady that just went by, that attractive lady, is Vilnius Foldis' girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
There are some benefits being a good pool player.
And none for the girlfriend. Yeah, congratulations. I'm dating a pool player. Thank you. Honey, I want the purse. No, I can't go into the bankroll. I've only got 8 barrels at 200 a game. I can't dip into that 8 barrels. If I buy the purse, I've only got 7 barrels. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Oh, listen.
My whole life, my money was in barrels.
Yeah, right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
If you have $1,000, you got 10 barrels at 100 a game. 2 sets for 500 a game, so you can't spend 100 because now you only got.
Yeah, right. You're off. You got the wrong number.
Yeah, but my whole life I'm on barrels.
Listen, I could tell you stories about gamblers that had thousands of dollars in their pocket and they still wouldn't spend anything, and they would shoplift their food.
I know.
I'm trying to remember who that story was about. There was some famous story about a guy, pool player, that got shoplifting like $2 of bologna, and he had like 4,000 in his pocket.
Look at this
he hit
shot.
That one too.
And he made a ball, but it ain't gonna help him.
Not gonna count. It's not gonna count.
Tell you one thing, he made a hell of a hit to hit it. Had to draw the ball, shorten it up like that, and that's a hell of a hit he made. I don't think this ball might not even go. Does it go by the 8? It's close.
Doesn't look like it, because he's looking at ducking here too. He's going to keep ducking until he finally gets ball in hand.
girl had a pretty tattoo on her arm.
Yeah.
I like it.
How many tattoos you got?
Just 2.
Those 2, one on each shoulder?
One on each arm, yeah.
Yeah. I got one long time ago.
The one on my left arm is that Jeannie Nabala from my last wife, Jeannie, and I got to find me another Asian.
What happened to Jeannie? She's still downtown?
No. She lives in Dallas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why Dallas?
Just tell me about it.
She got a job there, I guess.
Working at the Marriott.
Oh, good for her. You were with her a long time.
Long time, yeah.
She's a good girl.
She is. We're still friends.
You had longer relationships than I had. I never had a relationship last longer than 5 years.
That's the shelf life for a pool player, 4 or 5 years. I had a dog that outlasted 3 wives. Ginger.
Oh, God. You got a couple of sick commentators up here, folks. I'm sorry. Well, you know he's going to hit this ball. After the last 2 he hit, he's got to hit this one. And that's the one he missed.
That's the easiest kick he had. He missed it a mile.
That was the easiest one.
He just shot 2 circus shots kicking those 2 balls, and then he missed one like dead across the tape.
Well, yeah, he finally had a full ball to kick at.
He was trying to make it, trying to hit it thin.
Yeah, he wanted to cut it in. You're right.
Don't tell me it's going to be another one of these matches that take for an hour.
No, I don't think so.
No,
these guys play too good.
Yeah, they play fast, too. They're pretty fast players.
I was impressed with this kid. I saw him play a lot last tournament. That tournament was just 3 weeks ago. Well, I got to give Mark Griffin a lot of credit because he's putting on events that putting a little money in the pockets of some pool players. Shane won $22,000 at that U.S. Open.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went a week later. He went to Qatar and played in the World 9-Ball. Finished second, won another $20,000 there. So he had a good month.
Mm-hmm.
Shane's good at padding his bankroll.
One of the smarter pool players, no doubt about that.
Well, you know, he owns some real estate, too.
You helped him out there, I know.
I gave him a lot of advice.
Mighty nice of you.
He will not end up broke, I promise you. I told Shane, you just keep doing what you're doing. When you're 40 years old, you won't have to play pool anymore. And he's 33 now.
Yeah.
But he's still in his prime as a pool player.
Oh, yeah.
There'll come a day with Shane, though, where he's going to lose his motivation. You watch. He won't feel like playing. He already told me he doesn't like to travel as much as he used to. I mean, indication of that is the World 8-Ball Championship is going on in China the same week as this event. And that's an event Shane normally would travel to, but he came here. Meanwhile, every time he comes to the U.S. bar table, he wins like $10,000. So why not play this one? It's a lot easier trip. A lot closer. A lot less expensive. Let's see if Manny Perez can get out here. Nice shot. Played that 10 ball. Good move, Manny. One game apiece. Cool.
That's nice of him.
George, a good guy. He's a great guy. Those pictures that he just took 10 minutes ago, we already got copies of.
How did he develop them so fast? How did he do that?
You know, he knows all that computer stuff.
Man, that was quick.
He's a pretty sharp guy.
That was really fast. Good grief. One apiece here, 1-1.
A little tricky to get on this 2-ball. That's the 2-ball over there next to the 4. Looks good, though. Looks good. As long as he's not on top of that 8-ball, and I think he's all right. That's the 3 all the way down there where he's standing.
I don't think he can get back on there without hooking himself. If he draws a ball, hits a 4, he's going toward these balls, Jay. We'll know.
Can he go forward?
I don't think so. He might. Then he might hit the set. Might hit that other ball, the 6. We'll see.
I think he's got to go forward and try to spin it out of there. You know, use high right English.
He could hit the 4 and hit the rail there, and then spin off the 4. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's interesting setup here with this 5-10. It almost looks like there's a billiard from the edge of the 5 to the 10 ball. I think you can make that 10 on the side. If you get down here, down below the 5 ball, what do you think?
Yeah,
Looks like
yeah, and maybe throw it in with low right.
Right.
Yeah, it might go.
Meanwhile, his problem right now is to get from the 3 to the 4. He's trying to draw. Looks like he can see the 3, can he?
I think, yeah.
Well, then he's all right. He's all right.
What are you looking at?
Well, he's thinking about that 5 ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a good billiard, he wouldn't be spending a lot of time thinking about it.
I don't think he can go on a billiard. I think it's a little bit past the hole.
Yeah, it's a little hard for us to see. I mean, from this monitor view, it looks like it could be made. But, I mean, it looks real juicy from here. But
it even looks good down here.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those kind of shots where as a pool player, you've just got to see the shot. If you don't see it, if you can't imagine the shot, then you're never going to shoot it and you're never going to make it.
Uh-oh.
Where did he go here? What was this? You know, that's what happens. He thought a long, long time about the 5 ball, and then he got messed up on the 4. He needed to slow himself down there. That was a mental lapse to go that far. And this didn't work. He wanted to put the cue ball behind the 6, and he failed to.
Yeah, that was 2 bad shots right in a row.
I'll tell you, Manny's what I've seen of him is he's a good thinking player.
He's like, say 19, you said?
He's 18 or 19. He might have just turned 19. Meanwhile, he's got a long, difficult shot on this 4 ball. I still think there's a billiard. That's what he's looking at right there, coming off the bottom of that 5 ball and making the 10. I think it goes.
This 4 ball's not no gimme.
Of course not. Of course not.
From where it's sitting, you know.
Well, the good thing is if he makes it, the cue ball's going to be at the right end of the table.
Yeah.
I hope he makes it. I just want to see him shoot that billiard. I say it goes, and he's definitely thinking about it.
You know what? If you got against the rail,
right,
you could hit the 5 hard and force the ball in on it. So I'm saying, Jay, that's the way it goes.
Maybe
shoots the 5 over there and just.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I mean, that
but
way.
I think you can slide right across that 5 and make the 10. I think so. I think you can slide across the bottom of that 5 ball.
Maybe, yeah. It's hard. Yeah, it might go in the outside the pocket. Maybe, yeah.
Well, first he's got to make this 4. Like you said, this is a triple tough shot.
Oh, yeah.
It's about as hard as they get on a bar table. Boy, he punched that in.
Yeah, it wasn't a very hard shot.
Now here, he's got to do what you said. If he shoots the 5, he's got to just force that cue ball to the left.
Yeah.
Let's see if he goes for the 10 ball. I haven't heard him say anything. I don't know. He might not have. He might have a bad angle here, but he's looking at it like he can still make it. He wants to shoot it. He wants to shoot it. I think it's still makeable. It's a little bit. Yeah, he's calling it. It's a little bit harder shot. It'd be better if the cue ball was like a foot to the right. You got to commit to it, though, buddy. You got to commit. You got to go for it all the way. He looks uncertain. No. He didn't even hit it that good. He way overcut that 5 ball. Look at this. 5-10, hanger. Thank you, said Skyler.
Hmm. Two to one, Skyler.
How many players did you end up with in this division? Oh, they need that. They're playing. Our co-tournament director, Bonnie Jones, just tells me there is 74 players in this tournament. 2 of the best young ones are playing right now. Ball down in the break. Manny has got no look at the 1 ball. Got to push out here, buddy. I think he's going to get this shot back.
He came and hit it.
What's Skyler going to do? Get up there and kick at it? Skyler's not taking a long time here. He's just standing there. He's not taking a real. I'm surprised he's taking this long. Nah. He said, go ahead. Show me something, buddy. Show me what you got. It's a big ball to hit. I mean, to me, there's no question that he will kick off the end rail and hit this ball.
Over there and knock it over the bottom right and leave the cue ball behind all them balls, but he's got to make sure he hits the 1 ball on the left side.
That's the key. And don't hit it too far to the left.
Yeah.
You want to hit it solid to the left side.
A third of the ball or whatever, half.
You're right, about a third of the ball probably work. Well,
that's
not it. That ain't it.
And he missed it a mile.
Every time I say it's an easy kick shot, they miss the whole ball.
He missed that a mile.
I don't understand that.
He missed it the width of the cue ball. That was pretty strange.
That was a big ball, too. It's going to cost you when you give ball in hand to a guy like this. I'll tell you what, Skyler, I've seen such a difference in his game in the last 2 years. He plays with a lot of confidence now. You know, he's become a seasoned player.
He plays every
tournament.
Plays a lot of pool.
He plays every tournament. I mean, look at him. He's running out with confidence. He ain't taking an extra second. He says, I know this game. I know how to make these balls.
Better hurry.
This is the key shot to get from the 8 to the 9, but I think he's got a plan. But I think his plan, if he's going to go 2 rails, he's got to watch out for that side pocket.
Exactly.
He's going towards this side. Oh, he's shooting it down the other end, but
come up way short.
He come up, yeah. That shot, that's a shot, Bobby. If you get close to the 9 ball, right on the rail, it's an easy shot.
That's right.
But if you got an angle, it becomes very difficult.
He'd have been better off going into the rail, coming off,
Right.
going into the 3rd rail.
This shot's missable. He's going to have to use his full skill.
Look at that shot to
Hit
the
point. It can happen. It can happen. That was a big switch right there. It looked like he was going to be ahead 3-1.
He should have shot and it went into the rail and come off a little bit.
Right.
Made sure he got at least to the rail and then bounced off, as opposed to trying to stop.
Manny Perez doesn't look as comfortable as he looked in that last tournament. He's taking his time. He gets out. It's 2-2. Skyler can't be too happy about the outcome of that game.
No.
That game was all his. It just goes to show you, if you're watching out there, even these top players do make mistakes. They're all human. I remember when they used to have the AccuStats rating on all the matches back in the 80s, and Mike Siegel was by far the best player. His statistics were way better than anybody else, and he still missed 4 or 5 times per 100 shots. He'd make an error. Doesn't mean he missed the ball, but he'd play a position error, get hooked or something like that. But 4 or 5 errors per 100 shots, that's like 1 out of every 20 shots. So if you can be successful 19 out of 20 shots, you're a top player.
In his prime, who do you think would win playing 9-ball on a big table on a Gold Crown, him or Shane?
It's tough to say, but I think Shane's a better player. I think they've, well, Bobby, we both know the game's evolved so much. The equipment is different. The cloth is definitely different. Everything, it just plays differently.
It plays easier.
Yeah, probably.
Don't you think?
Probably. Yeah, you had to have a powerful stroke in the old days because the
now,
cloth was so slow.
No, you don't even have to. I watched that match with those Copigny brothers over there a couple years back at the CSI.
Yeah.
It was stupid. Nobody ever shot a ball harder than like dink, dink,
Yeah,
like
right.
dink, dink.
Right.
Never had to even hit a ball hard enough.
You didn't have to stroke the ball.
Barely get it to the hole.
Right.
I mean, it was like, I'm like, this is, kind of strange. Not
Well,
that, no, I mean, they played perfect, but, I mean, it was like.
Well, it's the cloth. It's mostly the cloth.
And the fast rails and this fast cloth. I don't know how I just don't think that.
Well, the cloth we use today, Bobby, this cloth 30 years ago, the only time you'd see it was on a billiard table.
Yeah.
Where you needed the balls to roll. Simonis was only billiard cloth. I remember when Simonis was being used on billiard tables, never on a pool table. Nice hit.
Another good kick.
That doesn't count, though, unless he called it. He did.
Yeah, I doubt if he called a 3-rail kick combination link.
Well, there was a conversation we used to have about who had the most powerful stroke, who had the strongest stroke, and you don't hear that conversation anymore.
You don't need one.
Yeah, exactly. It's not important. I think the conversation now is who can hit the balls the softest.
Yeah. Who has the most delicate touch?
There you go. You told me you could tell me a story about that, but you never did. You're saving that one. Save it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got a long week here, Bobby. This is only the beginning. This is only the beginning of a long, long tournament.
I'll give you a hint. Me and a buddy of mine was in Pampa, Oklahoma. I think it's Pampa, Oklahoma, like the roughest bar ever.
Not Pampa, Texas.
Pampa, Texas, excuse me.
That's what I thought, yeah.
And nobody ever went in this bar and won the money and got out with it. I did. I'll tell you why tomorrow. I busted the bar and got out alive, and nobody's ever got out of this bar with the money.
That sounds like that Indian reservation I went to outside Lawton, Oklahoma, where I should have never gone. I was the only white man on this Indian reservation. I'm playing pool for $20 a game. That was a bad move, Bobby. That was a bad move on my part. That was one I was lucky to get out without getting hurt.
Yeah.
Because they were all drinking. How'd you like to be in a it was like a ballroom where they were having a big party and a dance. There had to be 200 or 300 Indians in there, and me.
Oh, man, they're crazy, too. I've been in joints like that. Yeah.
I made some bad moves because I always wanted to play so bad. I'd never turned down a game. I'll tell you that whole story sometime. I never forget that Indian kid I played. He was a good player. His name was Dwayne. I don't know what his Indian name was, though. Anyway, Manny Perez. Wait a second. Isn't the score 2-2?
Mm-mm.
Huh?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be 3-2. See, it just magically changed as soon as I said it. Manny Perez taking the lead. That error by Sky. You know, when you got a match with two real good players like this, and particularly a short match, one mistake can cost you. It can cost you the whole match. One critical error can be brutal. Those are our two sponsors up there. OBQs, that's the official cue of the U.S. Bar Table Championship, and Kamui Chalk and Tips, the official tip. CSI Production, and it is the 2016 U.S. Bar Table Championships. My name is Jay Halford, and sitting next to me is Robert Cotton LeBlanc.
Hello, pool fan. That reminds me of Jackie Gleason showing Norton to hit the ball. He said, "Hello, ball." Remember that?
Yeah. Hello, ball.
He was going to hit golf ball. He told Norton, he says, "Address the ball, Norton." Norton says, "Hello, ball." Remember?
They were funny. They were funny.
Gleason was the best ever.
Yeah, and Norton was just as funny, too.
Oh, yeah.
I thought so.
Oh, yeah.
He had that great dry humor.
To the moon, Alice.
His name was Art Carney,
Oh,
that
yeah.
comedian. They were a perfect
The
team.
best. Oh, they were the best. Norton would work in the sewer.
Yeah.
And Ralph was a bus driver. That was the greatest show ever.
That was a great show. It's still in reruns. You can still see it sometime. Very much a controlled break there, but nothing went down. I don't think he gave up anything, though. I mean, that's the cue ball married to that one ball. Skyler got a little wake-up call now. You definitely don't want to lose a match this early in the tournament because you're in trouble. You got to win so many matches on the loser side. He was shooting at that 10 ball. You know, for every single round you progress on the winner's side, you have to win 2 matches on the loser side to progress just as far. So you got to win twice as many matches if you're on the loser side.
Yeah.
That could be a tall order. Meanwhile, Manny's going to have to kick at this ball. This is a hard one to hit, too. He's going to, it's like, wait a second, maybe he can kick off the rail and go between the 3 and the 9. What do you think?
No, he's got to go behind the 9 and just draw his ball, right?
Yeah, use like low left English. Hold that angle.
What's he doing here?
Wait a second. I don't know. He might be going through those balls. No,
Like
you're right.
that,
You
yeah.
called it. You called it.
Yeah. You got pretty good leave. Oh, he's.
Well, you see how often when a guy does hit the ball, he does not leave anything that easy. It sure doesn't look anything like ball in hand, does it? Skyler can make the one ball.
These balls are sitting crazy. The 2 doesn't go. I don't believe anywhere in others.
Right. He's thinking, do I really want to make this ball?
I don't see any way to duck.
He used that 6 ball to duck, and he did it very effectively.
Good shot.
Yep.
Great shot. I guess Matlock's just completely quit playing, or never.
He only plays right around where he lives now. He doesn't travel at all.
So, somebody told me they saw him recently, and he shaved his head, and he gained a lot of weight.
Could be. Who knows? A lot of crazy things happen to people when they get older, and some of them don't survive.
David,
He's going between the balls this time.
yeah.
Made another good hit. That's the important thing.
I actually like watching Matlock play. He played good.
He controlled that table.
Played good.
He was one of the most overpowering bar table players I ever saw.
Yeah.
I liked his game. I liked Junior. If you know Junior Weldon.
I run around with him for about a year.
Yeah. I liked his game. There was a guy from my neck of the woods up in Bakersfield. Bobby was a heck of a player.
I knew him real well.
Yeah,
Bobby Hernandez.
Yeah. There's the other good Filipino, Edgy Geronimo. Nice guy, very nice guy. You know, as good as he played on a bar table, Bobby, Bobby Hernandez could not beat me on a big table. He come into that my pool room up there in Bakersfield. He must have played me 3 or 4 times. But on a bar table, I had no chance.
Him and Charlie the Ape one time wrestled outside of Daisy Mays for like a couple of hundred, and he threw Charlie on the ground.
Bobby was a triple strong guy.
He put him down.
You know, from the time he was a kid, he worked out in those fields, carrying all them crates of fruit and stuff like that. You know how strong he was?
Oh, yeah.
He had, like, super strength, and he wouldn't back down from nobody.
He hung around with Weldon for a long time.
Yeah. Well, Bobby spent a lot of time down there in Arizona, when he was running those crews out of Eloy, Arizona.
Well, he's going to be. I don't think the 2 goes anywhere. He's got to figure out what to do here. He can draw
back. Couldn't he draw back and shoot the 2 up in the upper left corner?
It looks like. I mean, he's so close. He's got the right angle to just draw anywhere over there. You know what I mean, Jay? Draw anywhere. I mean, he got like 3 pockets to shoot it in.
See where he just put his cue down?
Mm-hmm.
That's where he'd like that cue ball to be. Did you know Peter Gunn?
No.
The black
I knew who he was.
Listen, he was a real good player on bar tables, too. A lot of people don't know he was from Bakersfield also. Wow, he really he can shoot it in the side.
Yeah,
That'll work.
Yeah, he got a funky angle here.
See, one of the reasons Bobby got so good is he and Peter Gunn used to play when they were teenagers. They play all day and all night. And what happened is they both improved their game. Oh, my goodness. Missed that ball on the side.
Doesn't look like he's even trying.
He's a little disgusted with himself.
Or something. I don't know. It just doesn't look like he's really.
Well, he's trying. He's just.
I mean, he's trying, but that was just.
He lost focus a little bit. He made a critical error a couple games ago, and he's let that affect him psychologically.
Well, here's my last comment for a few minutes on pool players. And I've seen pretty much everybody play, probably not as much as you.
Well, about the same. But
I'm gonna
you've seen
tell you-
guys that I didn't see, and I
I'll
saw
tell you
guys.
who's the most impressive player I've ever seen at the table, and I've played most of them, and I've seen about all of them. But there's nobody ever been as scary at the table ever in his school as Billy Johnson.
Oh yeah,
I mean, anybody thinks that ain't the truth.
yeah.
You could, when he was at the table, you could run a truck into him, and he wouldn't budge, and he played perfect. Believe me, I played him like 5 times.
Yeah.
And he played. They can talk about Keith and Matlock and Salazar and all them guys, but when Billy was at the table, you just knew he was never going to miss.
And he didn't.
He didn't. And a really good dude.
The
too.
guy he's talking about, folks, is that if you read any of the publication stuff, the name that he used was Wade Crane, but the name we knew him by for the first 15 years or so was Billy Johnson. He had 2 names in pool. Good shot here.
And
Good
he
shot.
was just so awesome at the table. I mean,
So solid.
it was just.
You know who his stance reminded me of? The guy who had the best stance that I ever saw. Now, you never saw this guy play, but there was never anybody I saw more solid at a table than this man. His name was Raymond Coolmans.
I know you're talking about.
He was like a rock, and Wade Crane, of all pool players, was the closest to Coolmans. You know, he was just so solid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew the story when Ronnie took Ed Kelly on the road when Kelly was like the best 9-ball player in the country, you know, back in I think it was like the late 60s, and they went to Atlanta. And somebody brought Billy Johnson to play Kelly. And Kelly, you ask Kelly when you see him, they played for 3 or 4 days. And at the end, I think Kelly come out a little bit. Remember, Billy Johnson was young then. He was probably 20 years old.
Mm.
And Kelly finally came out like 1 set ahead. And Ronnie told me later, he said what Kelly said to him when it was all over, he looked at Billy Johnson and said, "You're the best 9-ball player in the country." That's what he told him. And you know how good Kelly was.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody said Kelly was the best all-around player for years.
Well, the score's getting ready to be 4-2 here. Perez.
Yeah, Skyler's letting this match slip away from him. I'm sorry, folks, that we're bypassing the match a little bit, but it's early in the tournament. I promise you, when we get down to the final 5 or 6 players, we'll be serious too, because then the money will be on the line.
And we'll have better stories.
We'll try. We'll do our best.
I'll go home and read more Pool Wars, and I'll have some more stories for you.
I'll read more of my Confessions of a Pool Hustler. You know, we're authors. Somebody said to me, I've introduced myself to people, and they say, "Well, you're that writer. You're that writer." I never think of myself as a writer.
No,
I don't think of myself that way.
It's me, Jay, and Stephen King. That's so silly. All right, it's 4-2 here, fans. And when this match is over, we're going to be back at 7:30. Yeah.
5:30 and 7. This was a 4. Did he say 7:30?
7:30 when this was over.
7.
7.
7, okay. Well, we get a little break finally.
I'm going to go have a sandwich or something somewhere. Look at this. Look at this. Look at these balls.
Once again, he's married to that one ball. There's
3
nothing
balls
he can do
in
with
the
it.
break, and 2 and 3.
Well, this is where you got to play smart. You can't give up here. You got to figure out the best thing to do. This is one of the things that made Efren such a strong player. Is Efren could be in all kinds of predicaments, and he'd figure something out every time.
I think Skyler got them legs at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Chicken legs. One of the things that I was talking about Efren is one of the things that made him great is if he had a difficult situation, he looked at it as a challenge, challenged his ability, not like it was a bad thing, And meanwhile, it's an interesting setup here. To me, this is one of the beauties of pool, and I'll say this once every tournament I work on: you'll never see 2 racks alike in pool. You'll never see 2 racks the same. Why pool is not an Olympic sport, I have no idea. It's just about the greatest game there is. One of these days, I'm going to get a chance to testify in front of that Olympic committee and tell them, wise up, you guys.
Yeah, that's a fact. What are you going to do here? I'm trying to come back behind these balls. That ain't. Oh, we got lucky.
Well,
Caught the
Skyler can
point.
see it, but I don't think he can do much with it. I don't think the billiard on the 2-ball is there.
No, it's not.
He put Skyler, and Skyler's a little frustrated right now too.
This is a goofy situation here because if he tries to hit the one going straight into it, he's going to leave a shot. He can't duck.
He don't want to kick at this ball because there's too much chance of making a bad hit
Oh,
here.
yeah. I mean, he's got to.
He's going to have to come across it somehow.
Yeah.
That's what he's thinking about. See, he's shaking his head. He's got a lot of negative body language here, which is never a good thing. Well, Skyler, this is the test, buddy. This is your test as a pool player, and I tell you what, he's only 22, 23 years old. He's going to be tested a lot more in the next 15 or 20 years. You got to deal with it.
He might not even can hardly hit this ball. It's even hard to hit.
No, he can see it.
Look,
He can see half the
look
ball.
How it's sitting. It's a little different. I'm telling you, the three's like real close to being right in the way. I don't think he's got a kick at it.
No, I think he can. I think he can hit the left side of the 1-ball. The problem is there's nowhere to go.
I tell you what, he's going to have to do. He's going to have to kick at it.
That's his only chance.
The only chance to play.
Try to
any
kick it
kind
up
of
table.
safe. Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to have to kick at it. There's just no other way. I don't
Let's
think he.
see. No, he's shooting at it.
He is. No, he's kicking. I don't know, Jay.
He can't decide.
Is there a shot?
When you see a pool player taking this long, they're in big trouble.
There's no shot clock in this?
Yeah. 5-minute shot clock. And you get one extension for an extra 5.
He's kicking.
You called it. You called it.
Oh, he hit it.
Wow.
He hit it, too. And look at this. He got away with it.
He got away with it. Well, that's what happens. You get rewarded if you make a good hit. A lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times. I don't think Manny can see the edge of this ball.
No. He's kicking. He'd like to kick 2 rails, but the 10 might have him.
Yeah. Well, that's what.
No, he's all right. No, it's close.
Boy, this is tight. He could miss the whole ball here.
He's got to hit in between those 2 dots. Right there.
Right.
You know? He's got to hit closer to that diamond. He's got to kick behind that 1 rail, right, Jay?
That's what I think. Yeah, listen, if I'm going to kick at it, I want to make sure I hit it.
Yeah.
At least you know you might get away with some. A lot of people don't realize when you hit the ball, a lot of times you give up a tough shot. But one thing for sure, if you don't hit it, you give up ball in hand. See, listen, this is a lot better than ball in hand, even though Skyler's got a shot.
Yeah.
Because Skyler's got to do something to get on the 2-ball. He's got to come with a little bit of a shot here. And he's not. He got there, didn't he?
Yep.
Hit that ball good. I think, you know, if I could read Skyler's mind, I think that he believes that in his heart that he's a better player than his kid, and he probably is, but you still got to get up on the table and do it.
Yeah.
Just because really on paper you're a better player doesn't mean you're going to win. You got to get up there and play. I mean, he does run out with confidence, that's for sure. Skyler's got a big game. And he's trailed 4-3. Manny to break. I hope everybody out there is enjoying this U.S. Bar Table Championship 10-ball. We're just at the beginning stages in the second round matches. This tournament will last 3 days, followed by 9-ball, followed by 8-ball. We've got a week long of great pool with a lot of good players. Anybody's guess who's going to win these tournaments. I mean, Shane Van Boning's here, so he's got to be the favorite, but doesn't mean he's going to win. There's any one of a dozen, 15 players that are capable of beating Shane. I would say, Bobby, in my opinion, Shane is definitely a favorite to win one division. I would make him a favorite to win one division and probably finish high in 2 out of 3 divisions. But I think there was 1 year where Shane actually won 2 out of the 3 divisions.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
There's just too many good players. There's another 19-year-old, Billy Thorpe. He's considered the best under-20 player in the country. A lot of people are coming over starting to watch this match. We've got more of a crowd here than we've had so far today. Because Manny's got a lot of followers from Texas.
Good shot.
Uh-oh. In the drink.
Look at this. Look at this.
I wonder if we can get this guy to move out of the way here. He's blocking our view. It's not good for him to stand right in our line of fire. Hey, Billy.
4-4.
It's a race to 3. Look at Skyler's Fargo rating, 773. That's a high one. He's probably in the top 5 in the United States.
I still don't know how that rating works. I don't know how it works.
Well, don't ask me to explain it to you because I'm not sure either. But with his rating almost 100 points higher than Manny Perez, look at this. The score is 4-4, and they make him a 4-1 favorite almost. You know, if it was 80-20, it'd be exactly 41. Now, how can he be a 4-1 favorite?
Where does it say that?
78% to 22%. That's the percentage to win the match.
I see.
And the reason I haven't referred to it is because I just don't agree with it. When you got 2 players that play this good.
They had a match here. I was watching it at the BCC at last thing.
The U.S. Open.
It was like 98% to 2.
And he lost. And the guy, that's Manny Perez playing Mike DeShane.
Right, that's right.
When he was behind like 3-1,
I remember
they had it like 97% to 3.
I know, I saw that.
I said that's crazy.
I don't know how they got it.
And he came back and won.
I don't know how they figured it. I don't know.
Let's see what's got.
He only made 4 balls on the break. 3 balls on the break. He got his work cut out for him here.
Well, you just got to keep making balls. You know what I always say? You got to make the ball first. You got to make the ball
look
first.
At that.
That's all right.
That's why I say that turned out pretty sweet.
He can go forward. He's not the point's not getting his way. Problem he's got is getting right on that 9. It's a little tricky. You know, he could mess this up if he's not careful. I like going forward and going back and forth a little bit across the table.
Like that.
Well, that's good.
I like
that's good. Yeah. This is good. For the lead. And he was behind a minute ago. Skyler definitely looks like the more seasoned player, but this Manny Perez, he's a scrapper. He doesn't quit. He's got a lot of game. For me, it's good to see young players like this coming up. There's a few like him. Billy Thorpe is probably the best of the bunch of the under 20s.
He's from Ohio somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, Toledo. What do you see this kid play? He's just got a big game, you know. He comes with those shots.
When you're that young, you want hard shots.
The last guy I saw his age that had his kind of game was Corey Deuel. When Corey was 19, he was already a great player. Billy's grown up around all those real good players in Hawaii. Oh no, excuse me, in Ohio, and been gambling since he was like 15 years old. That'll make you tough.
Oh yeah.
This looks like it's going to work.
No.
Let's see.
Poked his head out there.
It dribbled out a little bit. Skyler can see the ball.
It's still a tough shot here.
Tough shot and tough position.
Yeah, he's going to go straight across in all them balls. I don't know how he's going to get on the two.
Yeah, it's unavoidable. He's going to run into traffic here. Made a good shot, though.
He made a monster shot inside on that ball.
Yeah, he went through all that traffic.
That was a monster shot he made.
All he's got to do is make this ball now.
Yeah.
He's got natural position on the three. Looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, that was a monster shot that he made with inside on that ball. Shit.
Skyler's showing his stuff here. Well done. Trying to run out and get on the hill. He looks like a player, doesn't he? Bobby, just the way he moves around the table like a guy in control. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. No, it's like there's no question in his mind. He knows what to do and how to handle it. There was another player, Bobby. I don't know if you ever saw him. You said Billy Johnson, and I agree with you. He was one of the great ones. I played him a couple times. Once when I didn't know who he was. Cuban Joe brought him to my pool room. But there was another guy, maybe the most impressive pool player I ever saw, and I've really thank God I get to see him play like 6-7 times, was Harold Worst.
Oh, yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
He was there was never another pool player like him. He was just had his qualities as a man.
Yeah, you've told me all about him.
Strong. Yeah. He was really the strong, silent type of guy. He was like Shane in that he would go to a tournament and try to win the tournament, but if anybody wanted to gamble with him, he'd gamble with him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a kid like Shane. He was always like a man.
Yeah.
He carried himself, in a very powerful way.
Yeah, I never got to see him. I know you're talking about, though, yeah.
Well, look, you talk even to the old-time hustlers, guys like Ronnie Allen and Cornbread Red, they had a lot of respect for Worst. You asked if you ever talked to them and asked them, they'd say the same thing. He was the best player we ever saw.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Well, Skyler
on the hill.
Skyler's on the hill, and he made nothing on the break.
See, like the difference is Lassiter was the greatest player of that era. He was the best at 9-ball, the best at straight pool, and everybody considered him the best player. But Lassiter, he'd win matches, he'd be whining and complaining and telling how sick he was and how much he hurt and everything like that, and just keep on winning. Worst was the opposite. He just pound you into the ground and smile and shake your hand.
Really? That's cool.
They say Willie Hoppy was like that as a billiard player.
Yeah.
There was some real good. Oh, that McGordy said. He said what I liked about Willie Hoppy. He'd come out like a gentleman, shake your hand, and then he'd take them 3 balls and shove them up your ass.
Yeah, funny.
I like that line.
That's funny.
And Worst was that way. He'd be a gentleman, shake your hand, be very cordial, very kind, and then he'd just obliterate you on the pool table.
Kind of like Detroit Whitey.
Whitey was a good pool player, He was a good player.
Yeah.
But he was totally degenerate, as you know. I had my run-ins with him. He got me to stake him once in a ring game for like $10 a man. He got me to give him $50. That was a mistake.
That was a gift.
That was a gift. You're exactly right. Let's see what he can do here. He's kicking at this 1 ball off the end rail.
He's called it over here.
Yeah. Once again, the important thing is he hit it, and look at this. He left Skyler a little
looks
air.
Like he can hit it.
But again, with this kind of opening, there's not a lot he can do. Even Skyler's going to have to take an extra moment here and think about this one. I apologize to you folks out there. We get sidetracked a little bit. That happens with Bobby and I. We knew a lot of the same people. I know there probably are very few people our age that have seen as many of the great players of the last, 2 or 3 generations that are left.
We're all dying off.
Yeah.
I about checked out a few months ago.
I know you were in trouble, man.
I dodged the bullet again.
Now you're retreaded for another 20 years.
Oh, I'm good to go now. I'm like a young Marine.
There you go. Like a young Marine. I like that line. Yeah, I was surprised to see Roberto Gomez. I didn't see his name in the field before. See, that shot didn't do Skyler any good, but he was actually trying to stick that cue ball behind the 3.
Yeah, he was in a tough spot too, huh? He just
in the deep doo-doo.
Wasn't a whole lot he could do.
Now, can Manny take advantage of it? He's under a lot of pressure now because.
Yeah, these balls aren't hanging.
Right.
It's a pretty tricky little rack to get out here.
He's got to get to the 2 first, and then the 3 is kind of hidden behind the 4.
I wonder what the percentages of pool players that all the good players now of working.
That have jobs?
Yeah. I think a lot of them are working now.
Yeah, at least 50%.
Yeah.
Hey, even the good pros are house pros at pool rooms where they give lessons and stuff like that. They all sell DVDs. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of guys write columns for different publications.
Yeah.
You know, they supplement their income in some way. It's hard to make it just as a pool player unless you're like a Shane Van Boning.
Yeah.
If you're at the very top of the heap, you can make a decent living, but that's what it takes. You know, where the top players get some pretty good sponsorship deals.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's got to get out from here, Jay, or else it's
Katie bar the door.
Yeah.
Well, he's handled the first couple shots that were tough ones. He doesn't have the best angle here. He's
No,
he's going to have to throw this cue ball probably around 3 rails.
Yeah, it's a little funny.
He's going to have to pull it back to his left.
Right.
But he's got the natural angle for it if he just makes sure to pocket this ball. But he's a straight shooter. Yeah, look at this. That's what he wanted to do, but a little bit soft. Look at this. He's on top of the ball, too. He's got a little bit tougher. He's got a bridge over the ball.
Yeah, this is tricky, but luckily he just got to, he don't have to do nothing crazy, just make the ball because of where the 6 is sitting. You know.
See that Cyclop logo? It's the same color as the 6 ball, isn't it? It's the same color. You know, all you can do here is just roll this ball in. All I'm going to try to do here is just cinch the ball. I'm not going to worry about position because you will have position. This takes good self-control. Well done. Well done.
Sure was.
Very well done.
That was a nice shot.
Just draw this ball back a couple inches. He's going to be straight in, though. He's got no wiggle room to get that cue ball off the rail. I like this kid in spots like this. This is what I saw last time is he got out in places like this. When it looked really tough, he kept finding ways to get out.
Yeah.
That's how he beat DeShane. He got out in a lot of tough spots. I like the way he went. Go forward, shoot the 7 on the side.
Good shot.
Now you can roll across the table for the 8.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty smart little pool player here. This guy's got a good head for the game. I see. You know, some players never develop that ability. They just don't, you know, they don't see all the options properly. This kid does. Got a good pool mind. So far, he's handled a pretty tricky rack very well.
Yeah, this was tough. These balls were sitting hard.
I told Skyler before I matched, I said, you got a tough match? He said, I know. He said, the kid just spent a week at my house. So they're buddies. They know each other. Of course, when they get on the table, they're rivals. They're playing for money. First prize in this one's $3,800. And the prize money is going to go up in the next 2 tournaments because they got bigger fields.
Whose break is? I think it's his break.
Yep.
6-5 now, is it? And if
yes,
he wins,
it is.
It'll be
another hill match.
Skyler will be breaking for the.
You called this one 7-5.
7-5
Woodward.
is what I said. Yeah. Yeah, these sports books are always trying to hire me as a handicapper, but I don't feel like messing with it.
I keep going to sports books, and I look for spots where they get out of line because it happens once in a while.
Here's how good I handicap. I had 6 months ago, I had 12 of the favorites on the UFC fights. 12. I had 12 favorites and lost every one of them.
Oh.
That's how good I handicap. 12 favorites and lost all of them.
I just look for a good spot once in a while. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm way ahead though. I've got lucky on several of these fights where it was like 8-1.
Right.
And I'm mad at myself for
Well,
not betting more.
like that Ronda Rousey fight. They had her a huge favorite over that girl.
Yeah.
That girl could fight.
And I bet on Holly Holmes.
Good for you.
Yeah. I got like 7-1, I think.
Right. Big line.
I bet like $40.
You wish it had bet 400.
No kidding. I'm a nit.
Did I tell you a story about when Cleveland was playing Golden State and they were down? What were they down? Three. They were down 3-1 in the series, and now they were playing back in Cleveland, and they made Cleveland a 2.5-point underdog playing at home in a must-win game. It was either they were down, maybe they were down 2. Yeah, they were down 2-0. It was the first game in Cleveland, and remember, Golden State had blown them out, just blown them out. And I said, wait a second. It's a must-win game. They're playing in Cleveland. How can Cleveland be an underdog? So I go to the Orleans Sport Book to bet $200, right, and take my 2.5 points. Let me let him shoot this racket.
Yeah, we're going to get in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble.
I'm going to get me in trouble. All right. This is a good story, Bobby. I made
Tomorrow.
I made a little score. This is the kind of story that should go between matches, or when there's a break. If there's a restroom break, then I'll tell you.
I think he's going to play the 1 off the 9 here, right? What else can he do?
That's what he's looking at. This is a tough shot. This is a
I
tricky
believe he hits
shot.
it like a third of the ball.
You mean the one ball wouldn't go down straight down the table?
No, apparently not.
Okay.
This is if he just hits the 9, the ball goes, right?
Yep.
What's he doing this for? Oh my God.
He got lucky.
And then
he got
lucky.
really, really lucky.
Skyler's on the hill, and
if he doesn't hook him there, the match might be over.
Oh yeah, it's definitely over. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Skyler's got a problem.
I don't know how he can play safe here unless he tries to float behind the 9. Can he hit the 1?
He's got a kick at it, I think. He's looking at the edge of it.
I think he can hit it.
If he can hit the edge of it, why not? Come off the edge of that ball and get that cue ball down the end rail.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, leave distance. He can. He's shooting at it like he can hit the edge of the ball. No, he don't like it now. Any way you look at it, Skyler's in trouble. Well, don't do something crazy, buddy. This is not a time to be frustrated. This is a time to put on your thinking cap and come up with the right shot. Hey, listen, if you got to kick at it and hit the bottom of the ball. That's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what to...
It actually is a pretty big ball to kick at one rail.
Yeah, I can't... I think he looks like he can hit it from here.
Well, he keeps looking at it like he can see the edge of the ball.
I don't know what the problem there was.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah,
good news, huh? Good news travels fast.
I don't know what the problem there was the whole time. He's looking at something else.
Well, he's got Manny in a world of hurt here. This is not the easiest ball to hit.
I don't think he can hit it. He's just got to go like that, go to the end rail and come back. There's nothing else.
Well, I've seen this kid make some miracle hits.
Unless he goes two rails behind.
He wants to go in between that 5 and 10 and go 2 rails. It can be hit that way if you hit it just right. It looks like it will.
Looks like he might come up a little short. I can't tell.
Yeah,
Jay.
it's tough. I don't know what choice he has, though.
He can't go that way. The 9's in the way, right?
Well, maybe he could, again, maybe he could massay it a little bit with a lot of right English and make it spin way out.
Yeah, I mean.
Maybe.
Yeah, this is.
Well,
Yeah, I guess he called it over here. He must.
he wants to use low right English here.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme right English. He still might come short. Yeah,
No, he can't hit it from
boy,
there.
Look at that.
He cannot hit it going.
Spot. He's in a bad
He
spot.
can't hit it going that way.
I think his only chance is at 2 rails. That's it. Yeah. You got to thread the needle here, buddy.
He's got to miss a 10 going out. I mean, he's got to.
Yeah. You've got to just barely miss the 10.
To come off at the right angle.
Right. Tell you what, this guy figures these shots out pretty good, though. I've seen him make hits like this. Although, it's hard not to go short.
I think he's going to go short.
He's lined up on it pretty good, I'll tell you. He's aimed at the right point. If he gets through that opening, how about that? What did I tell you?
Nice hit.
What did I tell you? This kid's amazing on hitting balls.
Of course, it's all over now.
Well, yeah, it should be. It really should be. Look at this. This is one of those times where hitting the ball didn't work out for him.
Yeah, he was in a death trap.
Got to give him credit for hitting that ball, though. There's Rob Saez, another good player.
Why's he limping around?
I don't know. I have no idea. He just won in Memphis like 3 weeks ago.
Who's that sitting beside him?
I don't really know. Skyler's just going to go forward. Basically, this is a key shot to the rack. Just get on the 4-ball, and he did.
It's all over now.
Skyler would have to really stub his toe not to get out from here. What time is it, 5:30?
5:30. Our next match starts at 7.
Yeah, we got a short break. That's barely enough time to do anything.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, go get a bite to eat.
We'll walk out there and get something.
I'll walk out with you, yeah. I think I'll tell you that handicapping story while we're walking. It may not be the best story for on the air.
Yeah.
It has absolutely nothing to do with pool. You know, our stories are good when they're pool related. That'll do it here, folks. Tough match, but Skyler Woodward's going to come out on top. The handshake, and it's over. We're going to take a break. We'll see you back at 7.